Okay, hi everyone. My name is Lana Kenworthy, and I'm from Telluride High School, and I did my internship at the Scripps Research Institute studying neuroscience. So I worked at the Yeat Lab with my two amazing mentors, and the Yeat Lab uses imaging and look to see drug distribution to study the effects of antidepressant drugs in the brain. So we used CATCH, which is a technology developed by one of my mentors, and it stands for Clearing Assisted Tissue Click Chemistry. The first step for CATCH is injection, so we have to actually inject the drug into the mice. We mainly used ketamine and sertraline, which are both hopefully antidepressants. Then we have to perfuse the mice, which means we take all their blood out so we can look at their organs and they're not blocked. Then we run a click reaction, which combines an azide, which is a dye, with the alkyne, which is the drug. And once those are combined, the dye illuminates the drug so we can see where it went in the brain. And then after that, we use imaging. And you can see up here, these confocal imaging uses different laser and light wavelengths to highlight different things. This red is the receptors where the ketamine was supposed to bind, and then this white is where it actually did bind. So when they line up, you can see whether it bound where it was supposed to. I actually got to do my own experiment in the lab for the last 2 weeks, which was really cool. I used a different drug called pargaline, which is a MAO inhibitor, hopefully another drug that's being studied for its antidepressant effects. The first day, I injected 2 mice. I did 1 vehicle mice, which means we just injected it with saline to have a baseline. And then we also did another mice with the pargaline. On then we had to harvest the organs. I harvested both brains, and then the kidneys, the liver, and the lungs. On day 2, we had to dehydrate the tissue in sucrose, so then when we freeze it and section it, the water doesn't freeze and damage the tissue integrity. Then on day 4, because we had to let that dehydrate for 48 hours, I used the cryostat, which, like Rain said, is very fun to use. You just get to slice up some organs. On day 5, we ran polymerization and cross-linking, which basically ensures that all the important molecules, like the proteins and the nucleotides, stay put. And then when you wash it in SDS, all the lipids which block the drug signal from being seen are removed. And then after that, we ran the click reaction, and we imaged. So these are the results from my experiment. On the top is the kidney, and then the brain, and then the liver. And these are all the drug mice, and this is where the vehicle organs would show up. However, you can't see anything because the white highlight is where the drug bound. And because there was no drug in the vehicle, nothing shows up. My mentor was actually kind of surprised that it worked. She did not think it was going to, but it did. Woo. I had a really awesome team in San Diego. We stayed at an Airbnb with our host mom, Jenny, and her dog and her cat. It was super fun. And then the other Pinterns, Azari, Shiloh, Rain, and Maya. We made lots of dinners, some gourmet dinners. These were frozen dumplings, but everything was homemade. We toured the city a lot. We went to the beach, and we had a lot of fun. Outside of work, we went to the beach every weekend. We went to 5 different beaches. I think we tried to go to a different one every weekend. We went to a weekend concert in LA. Thanks to Zari for that. That was super fun. My first concert, so a little overwhelming, but overall really fun. And then lots of farmers markets. This one was in Little Italy, and it was like 3 blocks long. It was really cool. My advice for future interns is do whatever. Most internships start out with the basics, and you're just going to do some grunt work before you finally get into it, and just go with that and know that you will do more exciting things in the future. Also, take advantage of shadowing other scientists. I learned some really cool things when I was shadowing people that weren't my mentors, including watching surgery on a mouse. That was really cool. And also do your research. You can look up things that you're doing so you're not just going in blind and following tasks. Understand what you're doing and why. And then thank you to all these amazing people.